This is our lecture number 28. In this lecture, we start our new topic, shear reinforcement. So, first question raise it, what do you mean by shear reinforcement and why we provide shear reinforcement? So, why we provide shear reinforcement? Because our actual shear stress is greater than permissible shear stress. Means our actual shear stress is greater than our permissible shear stress. At that condition we have to provide the shear reinforcement. So now the definition of shear reinforcement. What do you mean by shear reinforcement? So shear reinforcement are reinforcement to withstand shear or diagonal stress in the form of stirrups. Shear reinforcement and also to take the shear to which the structure is subjected. So this is the definition of shear reinforcement. Now why we provide shear reinforcement or applications of shear reinforcement is, first it is hold the bars. How this hold the bars we discuss in our next or after some time. It's prevent failure in shear. Third, increase beam ductility. And fourth one is sudden failure will be reduced. So this is the definition and this is the applications of shear reinforcement. Now first we see diagram how we provide the shear reinforcement and shear reinforcement it's look like. Means shear reinforcement diagram. For example, if this is a beam and this is our main or this is our secondary reinforcement. So this main reinforcement, this is the main reinforcement bar and this one is secondary. So stirrups is provided like this. If you see skeletal of reinforcement, when we cast a beam, before casting the beam we have to prepare the reinforcement skeleton. So when we prepare the reinforcement skeleton, at bottom side we have provide the main reinforcement bar, at top side we have provide the secondary bar, and the between top bars and main bars we have provided the stirrups or shear reinforcement. And this stirrups is provided in three ways. First is vertical, second is inclined, and third one is as a bent up bars. So in three ways we have to provide this shear reinforcement. Now this shear term you already learned in your previous semester, and this you remember already. If you recall it, you know that when we considered a rectangular beam, and for that case if you have to find the tau max, so formula is 1.5 of tau average. This is the tau is the shear stress. This thing you already know. So same thing here we have to use, because if you draw a beam and here you applied a UDL, so you remember that shear force maximum at support and 0 at center, and bending moment maximum at center and 0 at support. Means each beam or every beam have bending moment and shear force. So these bending moment and shear force is totally depends on loading condition, and it's vary on the span of the beam. So this shear reinforcement resists the shear cracks. Now there are some failure region in shear cracks, and these failure regions are, if you draw a beam like this, okay, and here we provide the reinforcement. So the failure regions, so there are three failure regions. First is the flexural crack, second is the flexural shear crack, and third one is the diagonal crack. There are three reasons, and these crack is totally depend on the bending moment and shear force. If we considered a beam and here we applied a UDL, you see maximum bending moment occur at center, means, and shear force maximum at support. So flexural crack, flexural means bending, so it's totally come on the center and it is come like this, means these cracks is come like this. This is the vertical in direction. There are cracks which is vertical in direction and at a center, these are called the flexural crack. Now flexural shear crack, this is the combination of shear and bending moment. Means if you see this beam have various bending moment and shear force at this span. Here bending moment is maximum, but here bending moment is vary, and here shear force is maximum, but here shear force is vary. So it is the combination of shear and bending both. So this cracks is occurred like this, means it's go center and move to the neutral axis like this. And third one is the diagonal crack. Diagonal crack is comes at the support, and it is also called the shear crack, because shear force is maximum at support. That's why this is also called the shear crack and diagonal crack. And shear reinforcement is resists the shear crack or diagonal crack. It's like this, it's come from supports like this. So these are the cracks are come in our beam due to bending moment and shear force. Now how we provide the stirrups, means for bars we say 16 mm bars, 20 mm bars, or main bars or secondary bars, but here we called a two-legged bar. Two-legged bar means, or two-legged stirrups means, this is two-legged stirrup because it's a two legs. If I tell you draw a four-legged stirrup, then 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the four-leg stirrups. Four-leg stirrups means shear reinforcement provided in the form of stirrups. If I said you have to draw two-legged stirrup, then you have to draw this diagram. If I say four-legged stirrup, then you have to draw this diagram. So this stirrups is provided in this form. Now steps for design of shear reinforcement at support. Because shear force is maximum at support, that's why we find the or provide the shear reinforcement at support to resist the shear failure. So there are some steps for design of shear reinforcement. Shear reinforcement. So step number first, calculate tau v is equal to Vu upon Bd, and this is given in IS 456 2000 clause number 40. These shear reinforcement rules and formulas are given in IS 456 2000 clause number 40, page number 72. Page number 72. So you have to see these formulas and rules of designing the shear reinforcement in IS 456 2000. So here we have calculate tau v, which is the nominal shear stress. This is the nominal shear stress, and this is the factored shear force. Factored shear force, and Bd is the dimension. So first you have to calculate the tau v. After finding the tau v, you have to see tau v does not greater than or equal to tau c max, and this tau c max value is given in table, and table is given in IS 456 2000 table number 20, page number 73. So when you calculate tau v, after calculating the tau v, you have to see tau v does not greater than tau c max. If tau v is greater than tau c max, then you have to redesign the section, means you have to change B or D. This you have to change. So this is the step number 2. Now step number 3. After seeing tau v does not greater than or greater than, you have to go to step number 3, and step number 3 you have to see tau v is less than tau c. Tau v is less than tau c, and tau c you have find with table 19, of IS 456 to 1000. Means for finding the tau c, you have to visit table number 19. If you find tau v is less than tau c, then you have to provide minimum shear reinforcement. You have to provide minimum shear reinforcement, and minimum shear reinforcement formula, which is given in IS 456/2000, ASV divided by B dot SV is greater than equal to 0.4 divided by 0.87 Fy. This is given in clause 25.5.1.6, page number 48. This formula is given in clause 25.5.1.6, page number 48. Now here we describe the symbol. What do you mean by ASV, B, SV and etc. So ASV is where ASV is equal to cross section area of stirrups. ASV is spacing of stirrups. B is the breadth of the beam. Fy is the characteristic strength of stirrup. This condition is used or take when tau v is less than tau c. Now if you get tau v is greater than tau c, then you have to provide reinforcement, and that reinforcement is in the form of vertical, maybe inclined, or maybe in bent up bar form. So now we write here our step number 4. In our step number 4, if tau v is greater than tau c, then shear reinforcement is to be designed. So this shear reinforcement is designed. So for that, first we have to calculate shear reinforcement. Shear force. So for that you have to find VUS is equal to VU minus tau c BD, because shear reinforcement is provided for extra shear force. Here VUS means strength of shear reinforcement. So these you provide in the form of bent up bars. If you provide in the form of bent up bars, so you have to find first VUS1, and the formula is 0.87 Fy ASV dot sin alpha. This is the formula for finding the VUS1 when we use the bent up bars. So here where VUS1 is the strength of bent up bar, VUS1 is the strength of bent up bars, alpha is the angle of bent up bars. Generally bent up bar provided in 45 degree or 135 degree. ASV is the area of bent up bar and Fy is the characteristic strength of bar. In bent up bar we have used the net VUS value, and this is we find VUS minus VUS1, means the VUS we find before, and this is with the help of bent up bars, and VUS1 does not greater than or equal to 0.5 of VUS. This you remember in the case of bent up bars. Now we see the formula for the vertical stirrup. Vertical stirrup. This is we continue our step number 4, in which first we call the bent up bars and second is the inclined stirrup. Formula is VUS is equal to 0.87 Fy ASV dot D divided by ASV sin alpha plus cos alpha. This is the formula for inclined stirrup, and last is the vertical stirrup. The formula for vertical stirrup is ASV is equal to 0.87 Fy ASV dot D divided by VUS. So these are the three forms in which we have to provide the shear reinforcement if tau v is greater than tau c. Now there are some minimum spacing criteria is also given in our IS 456 2000. These criteria are, let's see the criteria for providing the shear reinforcement here. First, check for step number 5 is check for maximum spacing. So we are providing reinforcement in up to the sufficient spacing. So we have take 0.75 D for vertical stirrups. Maximum we have take 300 mm. Maximum here we take 300 mm, and maximum we take here is 300 mm. And for inclined stirrup, this is for vertical, this is maximum, and we take D, it is for inclined. So these are the spacing we provided for the shear reinforcement. Now if we consider the criteria for doubly reinforced concrete beam, then for that we have to take some consideration. First, dia of stirrup shall not be less than 1/4 into dia of largest longitudinal bar, and second is the 6 mm, whichever is less. This is the criteria when we consider the doubly reinforced concrete beam. So if in this condition, if we have to take the die of stirrups, then it is considered in this form, and the spacing criteria for doubly reinforced concrete beam is spacing criteria for doubly reinforced beam is node B more than stirrup spacing node B more than in doubly reinforced. So first, width of beam, B means width of beam. Second is 16 into main bar, and third one is the 300 mm, whichever is less. So these are the criteria which we used regarding the shear reinforcement in doubly reinforced beam. Now there are some rules are made for providing the bent up bars. Means bent up bars are provided. Bent up bars provided means for providing the bent up bars we have some rules. If this is your beam, this is your main reinforcement bar, and you are provided the bent up bars like this. This is the bent up bars. This one is the bent up bars. So for and here we have a support. This is the support. So providing the bent up bars, we have some rules. The rules are: first, bent up bar should not first bent up bar start at a distance from support D and 2D, and second bar or group of bar start at a distance D or less than D. So these are the rules for providing the bent up bars for a particular or at a particular distance. So these are the introduction regarding the shear reinforcement. So we have to provide shear reinforcement to resist the shear cracks, and there are some rules to design the shear reinforcement which we have to follow the rules according to IS 456-2000. So this lecture is over, guys. Thank you. If you have any doubt, please comment me in my comment box. Thank you. Now we have discussed numerical based on this shear reinforcement in our next lecture. Thank you.